Hi everybody. Today I'm going to talk about my top 10 K-pop songs of 2024. So at number 10, number 10 is Baby Monsters Sheesh. It was very fun. I liked it and it was good. Number 9 is G Idol Super Lady. I thought it was very good. Yeah, it was good. Number 8 Number 8 is Smart by Le Seraphim. It was really, really good. Number 6 is Mantra Preview by Jenny Kim. It was good. Number 5 is New Jeans How Sweet. I liked it. It was good. Number 4, ATEEZ Ice on My Teeth. It was really fun and also good. Last but not least, my number one song of 2024, it's Stray Kids Chick Chick Boom. Stray Kids Chick Chick Boom is the best song I have heard in 2024. In fact, it's the best song I've heard in my whole life. I think it's the greatest piece of music ever composed in human history or will ever be composed. This is truly as good as it gets. All other artists may as well give up because they will never produce anything as good as this. Not in a million years. That is all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the most wonderful time of the year where I get to count down the best K-pop songs released in the past 12 months or so. Today I'm unveiling my long-awaited list of the top 50 title tracks of 2024. But before we get to that, I'd like to say a few words on the state of the industry. So, K-pop in 2024 had its fair share of scandal and controversy, and shall we say, unexpected developments. However, with each passing year, I find that I get increasingly aloof and indifferent to a lot of the drama that goes on, even though many groups that I like were caught up in the mess. Through all of it, I just want to talk about the music, so let's do that. Overall, I'm very happy with the quality of the releases this year, certainly more so than 2023. Of course, some months were better than others, but that's the case pretty much every year. We got off to a strong start, peaked midway around June, July, and August, and slowly fell off from there. As per tradition, we have 19 honorable mentions presented in alphabetical order. These are noteworthy songs that I enjoyed or I think deserve recognition, but didn't make the cut. If you're wondering why it's 19, it's so to bring the total to 69. Very mature, I know. So we've got Super Junior D&E 24/7 Ride, I've Ascendio, I Chillin', Bite Me, High Key, Deeper, Van, Feeling, Mimi Rose, The Flower Suede, G-Dragon, Home Sweet Home, Treasure Last Night, CIX, Lovers or Enemies, Kiss of Life, Midas Touch, Yena, Nemo Nemo, Sister 19, No More, Fantasy Boys, Pitter Pat Love, NCT Dream, Reigns in Heaven, Primrose, Steel Heart, Chew, Strawberry Rush, New Jeans, Supernatural, Zero Base 1, Sweat, and Moonbeer, Touchin' and Movin'. Okay, kicking off the top 50 is Eyelids Magnetic. It's a fun song. It's cute and bubbly. I liked it. This is not a joke. Number 49, Rosé and Bruno Mars, A Partout. We're just getting all the uber popular songs out of the way. It's a bop, okay? Does the chorus leave something to be desired? Sure. If they had written a Locked Out of Heaven-esque hook, maybe this would be in the top 10. But one thing's for sure, its cultural dominance and entertainment value are undeniable. Number 48 is Kwon B's Sabotage. She has been a mainstay on my year-end lists since the beginning. She just excels at this style of sleek, propulsive dance pop, and there's always a great chorus to go with it. This one's a sleeper. I have only one complaint, the second verse breakdown. Please just stop it. Stop. Please stop. Number 47, Triple S, Girls La La La. I mean, Girls Never Die. This was my most streamed 2024 release. It was that enthralling. They pulled it off. 24 members in 2024 is crazy. 46, Eunice, Curious. Great production, great melody. For the most part, I've learned to live with the little chanty chorus. It's by no means offensive. I think the impeccable flow and extraordinary second pre-chorus more than make up for it. Speaking of extraordinary, at number 45 is Extraordinary Heroes with Love and Fear. I've really warmed up to their music in the past year or so. Of the numerous singles they promoted this year, this was my favorite of the bunch. Awesome, gripping intro, awesome chorus as well. One of the best I've heard all year. Really well done. 44 is Jin's Running Wild. Like I said, not too many issues besides the vocal processing. Other than that, it's just a nice, cathartic homecoming record. Next, we have a fan favorite. It's QWER's TBH, coming in at number 43. You know, given how much I complain about a lack of singing nowadays, the amount of singing on this track is truly something to behold. It is almost unfathomable in this day and age, and is perfect ear bleach in my opinion. Number 42 is ITZY's Untouchable, one of their best songs in years. A lavish, mouth-watering slice of electropop is what I called it, with a commanding, slinky bass line to die for. 41 is Lighthouse by Tempest, a group that is very consistent in being inconsistent. Last year, Dangerous was ranked number 4. Love that song. Lighthouse doesn't quite match up, but it's the best thing they put out this year. Vanna's Automatic is number 40, another underrated group. They had 2 comebacks this year with Jackpot and Automatic. Both of them were good, but I prefer the latter's more understated and sinuous groove. Number 39, Go Up by Trends, yet another Nugu boy group. I guess these last 3 tracks are pretty much interchangeable in terms of ranking. This would make a great summer song, even though it was released in January, so I can't help but feel like it was meant for those of us in the southern hemisphere. It's quite similar to Brave Girls' Chimat Param, and that's not surprising given who produced it. 38, Your Love, from the most dependable dynamic duo in K-pop, From 20 and Hello Gloom. This one is dedicated to the fans, but instead of dropping a sentimental ballad for this occasion, they did what they do best, expressing their gratitude on top of an optimistic dance beat. Your Love is both a culmination of their respective musical journeys and a sign of more exciting things to come. Number 37, EPEX Youth to Youth. These guys have truly redeemed themselves this year. Their musical output has been plentiful but solid, and Youth to Youth remains an undisputed highlight. There are several standout moments, including the gorgeous pre-chorus, the chugging hook, and anthemic sing-along finale. Number 36 is 1 Trillion from the master Lee Chan-hyuk. This grew on me a lot since its release on the first day of the year. It took a while for the strings and synth to seep under my skin and for me to really savor those textures as the story unfolds, but few songs in 2024 have had the same emotional resonance as evinced by the melodic melancholy and poignant prose of 1 Trillion. It's arguably the least flashy song on this list, but definitely one of the richest. Number 35, Gravity, Love or Die. They won the new season of Kingdom, apparently, which I had no idea about up until recently. My congratulations to them, and potentially condolences as well, because the last group from Starship to win one of these competitions was WJSN. And yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Anyways, we're going off topic. Love or Die is an agile and intense melodic rock track. It's relentlessly driven and does not take its foot off the gas, not even for a second. At least not until the bridge. But that's a solid 2 minutes of non-stop thrust, and it's great. Speaking of uninterrupted momentum, number 34 is aespa's Whiplash, a striking and luxurious comeback from the industry's preeminent girl group. Strutting along with breathless production and breakneck pace, it's guaranteed to make you feel like the coolest person in the room. Moving on, we've spoken of APT, now we have GPT from the Stacey Girls at number 33. For the past 2 years, they had just missed out on a top 50 placement. This year, they've again put out a great pop song that fits their image. And I'm glad to say that GPT is probably my favorite Stacey track since So Bad. I love the production on this. Those squiggly synths make all the difference. It's just an incredibly charming and endearing song with one of the loveliest melodies of the year. It goes to show how Stacey has set the standard with this type of K-pop. Number 32 is To Us's Last Festival. This was the best song to come out in the busy but bleak month of November. It's deeply mesmerizing and dreamlike. It beckons and surrounds you, almost as if you're swimming in the mist. 31. XG Something Ain't Right, their most streamlined, polished, and instantly memorable tune yet, unbelievably persistent with its 4-on-the-floor tempo. I know their inclination is towards hip-hop, but I would love to hear more EDM-oriented material from them in the future. Next, it's dance tracks galore as we move on to the top 30, beginning with Hello Gloom's Mamacita. Every year there's a song that contains a uniquely fascinating hook. Last year it was B.I.'s Die for Love, which also happens to be of the house persuasion. Hello Gloom's racy club banger acts as a worthy successor to that. Like pretty much all of his and From 20's singles, it's quite ephemeral. I think a bridge would have done wonders, but this is still a really well-constructed song. The same could be said about SF9's Bibora, which comes in at number 29. Robust, hard-hitting, and seductive, it effortlessly flits between rap and vocals, whilst playing with an acute sense of drama. This is one of their finest releases yet. Number 28 is Neon's ABCD. Believe it or not, this song has been out for 6 months, and I only just realized the meaning of ABCD, at least how it's used in lyrics. In that time, I've also grown more appreciative of the sing talk that precedes the awe-inspiring chorus. Neon's performance just oozes with charisma, and if I had to draw a comparison with another soloist, I would liken this to Jungkook's similarly bombastic Standing Next to You. I originally thought they dropped the ball big time by cutting the streaming version short, but to be honest, I think the dance break is an inessential addition to the track, and omitting it doesn't diminish the appeal. Although for the full experience, I would of course suggest listening to the extended version or watching the MV. Either way, this is an excellent comeback from the eldest member of Twice and one of the most outstanding releases of the year. Released not long after that was Songbird by NCT Wish, which also melds early 2000s influences to create a terrific jam. It manages to stuff so many ideas and textures into 3 minutes, but each of them is given the room to develop and breathe. From the spacey introduction to the shiny style refrain, I can almost hear Key's voice within the vocal blend. And speaking of vocals, the layered arrangement after the first chorus is just phenomenal. Delivered with panache beyond their years, NCT Wish's Songbird is captivating, delightful, and an all-around good time. Number 26 is ITZY's Imaginary Friend. It's their first time on the countdown and they've got 2 songs here. This one serves as a soothing counterpart to the prickly Gold. Here every line was written and sung with tender love and care. The chorus is utterly beautiful. The girls' vocals are layered to perfection, making their heavenly ascent on the back of some luscious strings. Imaginary Friend could have been 2.5 minutes long. They could have done the bare minimum and called it a day, but instead ITZY gave us a fully fleshed out song that I feel people will revisit for years to come, presenting a nostalgia trip for fans a decade or 2 down the line. Alright, we've only just reached the halfway mark. This video is going to be a long one. But at number 25, we have a really underrated track from former Astro member Rocky, Jealousy. This one is a dark, synthwave adjacent banger with a looming sense of drama laced within its tenacious rhythm. Rocky's showmanship on the song, in conjunction with the overall atmosphere, are reminiscent of contemporaries like Taemin and Wonho. Perhaps the execution could be a bit more refined, but I mean, this guy's got the chops, and I'm excited to see what he does next. At number 24, it's The Wind's High Teen. This group has been reliably remarkable since day one. This year they really came into their own, starting with this ebullient and hyperactive whirlwind of bubblegum and cotton candy. The hooks border on kitschy, but luckily the entire song is anchored by stirring instrumentation and robust vocals, which are part and parcel of the Wind's youthful allure. Number 23 is Whib with Rush of Joy. All I can say is that they didn't lie. It's a wonderfully fun ride. Even though the song is only 2 minutes and 38 seconds, it feels very complete, what with the bridge plus 2 post-choruses. A super taut and compelling pinwheel of a pop song that knows its strengths and plays to them perfectly. Continuing with the buoyant boy group releases at number 22, it's To Us with If I'm S, Can You Be My N. Their production team has basically cracked the code, like they've solved music. This song sounds like it shouldn't work, and yet it does. It comes off as overstuffed, but it's not. It's the best parts of TXT, The Wind, and 17 put into a blender. That's how you get To Us. All jokes aside, If I'm S, Can You Be My N is a vibrant, cheerful, and endlessly creative teenage anthem. And obviously any song that utilizes a freaking harpsichord is bound to be great. Number 21 is TAN's Hypertonic. These fellas had 2 songs in the top 15 last year, and Hypertonic was my number 1 pick for the first quarter of 2024. Unfortunately, it didn't stick with me as much as some other tracks, which is a shame because I still think it's a great song. It's expertly produced. This was the last hurrah of the late Shinsadong Tiger, and sadly TAN's last comeback as well. There really aren't any other current groups who are making this sound, so they will be missed. I'm just glad they were able to end it on a high. Okay, number 20, Day 6, welcome to the show. This is the first time Day 6 has even had the opportunity to be on a countdown, and they came back swinging. This is a triumphant return through and through. Number 19 is Zero Base One's Good So Bad. Much like the associated mini-album, this song is a cinematic paradise. Layering harmonious vocals over an ethereal arrangement, it satisfyingly channels the group's spirited energy. Moving on, number 18 is the one and only esteemed, prestigious Baby Monster with Forever. Let's give them a round of applause. They did it. Woo! In a year marked by an abundance of questionable singles, Forever emerged as an astounding exception, combining the very best of Blackpink and 2NE1's prowess, filtered through Baby Monster's beguiling verve to create a glamorous pop tune with impressive performances and a timeless melody. I can only hope they didn't peak with this track. Like, give us one more, at least. Number 17 is Dreamcatcher's Justice. No year-end best of list is complete without Dreamcatcher. You know, they've given us many mellifluous and full-throated choruses throughout the years. They took a well-deserved break on OOTD to deliver a mundane chant, but now they're back and taking turns to belt a double high note like some sort of medieval battle cry. It's frankly quite a brute force approach, but the breathtaking vocals are nonetheless bolstered by a lacerating guitar and some stomping percussion, which will get you headbanging like a maniac in no time. This is probably their most chokehold-inducing and goosebump-eliciting single yet, and another rip-roaring and thunderous entry to Dreamcatcher's expanding universe. Number 16, it's Day 6 again with Meltdown. This unexpectedly overtook Welcome to the Show for me, thanks to its freewheeling and unflagging energy. It's a track that never runs out of steam, and I think its more varied composition will have greater endurance. Given its fervent nature, Meltdown seems more appropriate for the summer. Meanwhile, the title seems intent on welcoming the spring in September. So perhaps this was also meant for yours truly down here in Sydney, Australia. Number 15 is On and Off's By My Monster. This is the epitome of a multi-part pop opera with build and climax, evoking the thrilling theatricality of K-pop's second generation. It's a slow burn at 3.5 minutes, weaving a brooding soundscape of jazzy piano, majestic orchestral flourishes, and earth-shattering vocals. Like, this kind of vision is just hard to come by nowadays, and this team deserves far more credit and acknowledgement than they are currently receiving. Number 14 is Lucy, 못 죽는 기사와 비단 요람, also known as The Knight Who Can't Die, and the Silk Cradle. I haven't got too much to say, honestly. It's just a very hearty and wholesome rock track that takes you on a fanciful journey across every landscape imaginable. I only take issue with the translation. How about instead of the knight who can't die and the Silk Cradle, we have the immortal knight and the Silk Cradle, or even the undying knight and the Silk Cradle. You know, if I ever write a fantasy novel one day, that's going to be the title. At number 13, we have the best comeback of October, and probably my favorite song of theirs now, The Wind, 반가워 나의 첫사랑. I'm just going to read an excerpt of my review. While To Us is busy bringing their bright and youthful sound to the masses, a lesser known The Wind is also breathing new life into this classic genre. First Love succeeds by simply being genuine. At this point, a group lacking direction would have undoubtedly flip-flopped into self-important posturing. But luckily, The Wind is not one of those groups. They just decided to make a song conveying the euphoria of young love, and I am all for it. Speaking of To Us, here's another one, Plot Twist. It's a fitting name given the numerous unexpected turns throughout. I mean, they took the phrase, never let them know your next move, and ran with it. This has probably been the biggest grower of the year, but still I don't feel that it has yet reached its full potential. On my list of the best songs from the first quarter of 2024, this was ranked number 8, and now it has surpassed everything else, except for one. I would love to put it in the top 10. It was in the top 10 at one point. Maybe if they had given us an extra minute, that would have secured it. Who knows? But regardless, this will go down in history as one of the most sensational debuts. Number 11 is Twice. They've re-entered the list with I Got You. It isn't all that uncommon for a pre-release single to be stronger than the main title track. In fact, there are several pre-releases in the top 10, which we'll get to. Twice's finest song this year is a bounding and breezy voyage. At sea. On a sailboat. The wispy synths is like the wind sweeping through your hair. The drums resemble the rocking waves, and the warm vocals represent the nourishing sunlight. Bottom line, they are the gift of a girl group that keeps on giving. Number 10. In 2015, SHINee released their fourth studio album, Odd, led by the deep house revelation known as View. The record was then repackaged as Married to the Music, the namesake of this very channel, as well as the exuberantly funky title track. In 2024, Rise unveiled a similar 1-2 punch of singles with Impossible and Boom Boom Bass, the latter of which is our number 10 song. Boom Boom Bass retains everything great about 2023's Get a Guitar and seals the deal with a stronger instrumental and catchier songwriting. It's endlessly playful with a seemingly bottomless bag of tricks bundled into various addictive rhythms. The track is incredibly brisk and brief. It cuts straight to the action. I mean, the chorus appears a mere 16 seconds into the song, for crying out loud. You know, in a perfect world, if this song had come out, say, 10 years earlier, heck, 40 years earlier, we might have gotten like a 1 minute long introduction before the vocals come in, which I would have loved. Boom Boom Bass is definitely a product of its time, but it's manufactured impeccably. While all the fat has been stripped off the bones, it's cooked just to the right temperature and seasoned to perfection. Well done. Or medium rare, I should say.
Boom boom bass.
At number 9, this is somewhat of a symbolic gesture. It's Kep1er's Shooting Star. These girls debuted with the meteoric Wadada almost 3 years ago now, and so far they've mostly struggled to find their footing. There were a few small wins along the way with some excellent B-sides, but up until this point they had yet to deliver a truly resonant tune. So there was no better time than at this stage of Kep1er's career to finally shine, and they did just that, running the gamut with glistening production and wistful lyricism. The song ebbs and flows in all the right places, but a particularly memorable part is the pre-chorus, where time literally stops and we are suspended in a moment of weightlessness. Slowly, the gravitational pull sets in and we start hurtling towards the earth at 100,000 kilometers per hour. The chorus is absolutely blissful. painting a spectacular sight with vibrant synth flourishes and vivid fireworks in the vastness of space. This was not quite a proper farewell song, more so a liminal release. Thus, I have no doubt that the impact would have been greater had this really been Kep1er's final single. Either way, it marvelously captures the group's transitory nature through the metaphor of a beautifully fleeting streak of light in the night sky.
I'm like some kind of supernova. Watch out.
Staying with the theme of astronomical phenomena for a minute, at number 8, it's the biggest song of the year, the stellar explosion of aespa's Supernova. While Shooting Star sought to achieve a graceful landing, Supernova just beats you over the head with a sledgehammer. Kenzie and Dem Joints pulled out all the stops, deploying every weapon in their arsenal to forge an aggressive blast of fire and lightning. And I'll say this, only an SM group could feasibly pull off a song like this. Only their producers would have the gall and the wherewithal to channel the spirit of FX, circa 2010, New ABO era. You know, people have mentioned the interpolation of Planet Rock from 1982, which itself is a sample of Kraftwerk's Trans-Europe Express, but I'm convinced they actually used the sound effect from SM's logo motion for the bass line.
Supernova.
Can anyone confirm? Anyways, Supernova is an uncompromising culmination of aespa's experimental affinity, and a smash hit in every sense of the term.
Supernova.
Number 7 is Virtual Angel by Artemis. None of their 4 pre-release singles struck a chord with me, but with their official debut I was finally impressed. Virtual Angel is a pretty straightforward pop song. And by pretty, I mean attractive. I think it thrives largely on the strength of its melody, which provides the utmost aesthetic pleasure. It satisfies to an almost transcendent degree. The hooks and instrumental are quite airy, which I'm normally unsympathetic towards, but in this case it all blends together nicely in a kaleidoscope of flashing floral imagery and pink gradients. Most importantly, the song makes me feel something. When I listen to this, I can just go with the flow and luxuriate in the pristine production and angelic vocals. Or shall I say, virtually angelic vocals. At number 6, we have a dark horse pick. A true gem among girl group releases this year. It's Recine's Love Attack. The verses are ancillary and serviceable, but this song's crowning moment is of course the, what word shall I use here? Divine chorus. One of the best choruses, not just this year, but this decade. It belongs in a different realm, and is what single-handedly vaulted this track into the top 10. Songs these days often pull back their instrumental at the crucial point, in a way that's almost unwilling to bring attention to itself. But Love Attack unleashes an affectionate assault on the senses with the thickest bass ever, sending forth a sublime melody that has the power to bring me to my knees. If this chorus were a person, I'd marry her. And that's the most glazing you're ever gonna get on this channel. Love Attack is in a similar situation to Wua's Roller Coaster from 2022, which landed at number 8 on that year's list. Unfortunately, it all went downhill from there for Wua, so in that regard, I wish Ricine doesn't follow in their footsteps. With this song, they've earned a fan, and I hope they can continue delivering more epic set pieces such as this. Number 5, another song with a cerebral, cardiac, cataclysmic centerpiece. I'm a big fan of those in case you haven't noticed. It's Taemin's Horizon. Now, it's no secret that his solo work is often characterized by a murky and mysterious aura, and in recent years he's chosen a more restrained performance style to go with that vibe. I, however, prefer the strenuous and throbbing arrangements from his earlier singles like Danger and Press Your Number. So I was happy to see that his latest comeback offered double title tracks, and I immediately gravitated towards Horizon, even though Sexy in the Air would certainly get more ratings. So this was my song of the week, song of the month actually, for August, and when I reviewed it in the community tab, I just wrote 3 words. Let him cook. And cook he did. Taemin's delivery just lifts the whole thing up. It's the way he attacks his lines, especially in the chorus, with a kind of urgency and intensity that has rarely been duplicated. Horizon is a very well executed synthwave track, for the most part, for 93% of the part in fact, save for that despicable slowdown in the second verse. Why are we still doing this? Moving on to number 4, it's Rise with Impossible. If I had to describe this song in one word, it would be effortless, and also relentless, and breathless. It's all of those things in one extremely light-footed, tautly constructed, and irresistibly infectious house track. It plays like a bird gliding ever so slightly above the water and gently skimming the surface. A masterclass in build and momentum, tension and release, making this an instant hit that's ripe for the summer. In the middle of April, no less. Number 3, Red Velvet, Cosmic. I've had trouble connecting with some of their songs in the past, songs that were very well received and highly rated. This is not too different. I was a latecomer to the Cosmic party. I wasn't too quick to board the Cosmic train, but now we're here. This song was not made for the charts. It was not designed to go viral on TikTok or win loads of awards. It is simply steadfast, no-nonsense songcraft from Kenzie and the Moonshine team, with modest instrumentation and a flawless melody channeled through the girls' pure and unadulterated vocals. Red Velvet is one of the few groups that insists on singing the chorus together. Really, it's only SM groups that still do this, and bless their hearts because the outcome is fantastic, and it might be their greatest chorus yet. It goes back to my review of IVE's I Am. It makes me question why more groups nowadays don't choose to perform their choruses in unison, when the result is often so towering and magnificent. Right, the best choruses should feel larger than life. They should crash on you and consume you. They should do something, and in Cosmic's case, it dazzles with the brilliance of 1,000 neutron stars, allowing its scintillating harmonies to spread far and wide across the universe. Cosmic love, oh yeah. Number 2 is a wonderful song by TOUS, Hey Hey. Oh man, I still remember watching the MV 30 seconds in and I was like, I recognize that street. That's Hong Kong. I've played at this court. And from that point on, I just had a big smile on my face. A smile that would soon turn into a grin as the song prepared for takeoff with a call and response pre-chorus between the boisterous chant and ascending melody. Objectively, Hey Hey is not as technically ambitious or structurally complex as their other entries on this list, but it succeeds just by doing everything right. Where other songs would opt for desultory catchphrases, Hey Hey's chorus soars above the clouds. The second verse is a very common stumbling block, but TOUS did not fall into the trap and instead kept on sprinting. Okay, they didn't slow it down in the second verse, maybe they will in the bridge, but no, it actually ramps up. So it's all of these little decisions that compound to determine the fate of a song, and their producers made the correct choice every single time. It's the joy of summer break, a sense of adventure, and the power of friendship, all distilled into a joyful 3 minutes and 13 seconds, delivered with the passion only a rookie group could give. This song was number 1 for a long time, from its release until late November, so in terms of tenure, I guess it's effectively my favorite and most cherished song of the year. But then there's one more track that came out in the second half of 2024 that I feel is better. Still, Hey Hey holds a special place in my heart. so they can be co-champions as far as I'm concerned. But my number one song of the year is Lee Sung-yoon's Waterfall. This was the only song this year to have an entire video dedicated to it. You can check out my detailed analysis right there. It is just completely different from anything you'll hear this year, or any year for that matter. I still remember when I was putting this list together, Waterfall was originally number 46, and then it rose to 17, and now it's number 1, dethroning Hey Hey. And it almost feels wrong putting it up here amongst all these other A-listers, but who am I to deny the recognition it rightfully deserves? It's not like I've ever had any problem putting Nugu groups in the top 5 anyway. If you haven't heard this song, which I suspect most of you watching have not, I highly recommend you do. It's a 6-minute long cinematic masterpiece with one of the most stirring band performances of the year. And by the end of it, you'll be left gobsmacked, wondering what you just witnessed. I am vouching for this song all the way. It is that good, and I won't say much more, just go listen to it. Alright, that's a wrap. Looking at the list overall, JYP and SM are the standout agencies, music-wise, with the latter dominating the top 10. If Taemin was still with them, then there would have been 5 SM songs in the top 10, which is crazy to think about. The MVP of this list is obviously To Us, with 4 title tracks making it on. In the past, no artist has posted more than 2. Okay, we've reached the end. This is easily my longest video yet. If you've sat through all of that yapping, I thank you sincerely. The B-sides video should come out soon, hopefully. Thanks once again, and goodbye.